Madagar salam 𝕨𝕗𝔤𝔵𝔦𝔠𝔬𝔫𝔰. Good day, everyone. Welcome to the new episode of the Language Student Society's official talk show, Lexiconversations, where we celebrate the power of language through conversation that shape minds and inspire change. In each episode, we open the floor to meaningful stories featuring our alumni and some special guests as they share their journeys, insights, and expertise. From inspiring success stories to thought-provoking discussion, this show will bring us closer to understanding the limitless power of language. I am your host for today's episode, Ashlee Jane Inso, and I invite you to join me in this conversation. Now, for today's episode, we are honored to welcome our very first special guest, a proud USEP AB English Language Alumnus and a dedicated scholar who has explored the richness of Philippine languages. He is currently serving as the chair of the Division of Humanities at the University of Hawaii at Hilo. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Associate Professor Dr. Rodney C. Jubilado. Welcome to the program, sir, and thank you very much for accepting our invitation here at the Language Student Society.
Thank you. I just find it so amusing with that photo. That was actually during COVID. Who made this one? Sajid again. Ashlee, hold on.
Yes, sir.
You are the president, yeah?
Yes, sir. I am the president.
Okay, so is it a congratulatory note or good luck note? Both?
Both, sir. Both will do. I need the good luck and I need also the congratulatory note.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
Thank
well,
you,
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation. First and foremost, sir, how are you and how's life there in Hawaii?
I'm actually doing great and yeah, preparing the office for the classes that will start next week. And being the boss of the Humanities division, I also make sure that the faculty are having the right things that they need when we'll be starting to have our class next week. And our building just got renovated and the smell of paint and everything's there. So I'm preparing my memorandum to be sent to the bosses and also to the students that perhaps we might be, like when students here, because this is part of America, being the 50th state, and freedom of the speech is always there. If students will say, no, I don't want to be in the classroom because it smells like paint, then we really have to shut down, students are very much empowered here. So that's how busy I am today.
Wow, that's very good to know, sir. And I wish you luck in your classes next week. So since you are one of our proud alumni here at USEP, let's begin by revisiting your roots here at the university. So for the first question, sir, when you look back at your college years as an AB English language student, what moments or experiences come to mind first?
I'm actually a transferee from MSU that time. So I took up chemistry and political science and engineering at MSU. Then I moved to Ateneo de Davao and then moved to USAP. And just because I ran out of time and I think, why do I have to make myself, something like more pressure and things like that? And I am good in sciences and I'm also good in humanities. So I tried BA English because that's the only thing open that time. And so I enrolled BA English and yeah, it was fun. And my graduates, my fellow students that time, they were also graduates as valedictorians in their high schools. I think there were 80% of us valedictorians in high school in that batch. And they're all successful. Many of them are still in Davao City, and I think I'm the only one in the US.
Wow, that's very inspiring to know, sir. From many undergraduate courses you took, you end up pursuing AB English language program. So during your college journey, sir, was there a defining moment that changed how you saw language, culture, and even research itself?
Yeah, I remember like our teacher in linguistics didn't know linguistics. but the teacher gave me a 1.0.
Oh.
And when the teacher was talking about Marquard, I was reading Mackay. So I said, excuse me, you're talking about Mackay. It's not Marquard. And then when it's time that the teacher was talking about Mackay or Marquard, so that's the reverse. Because there was only one source of very good books, and that was the American Library. The American Library before was still at in Bahada somewhere. There used to be a U.S. Office in there, and now they moved to Ateneo as part of the Library American Center. So those were the powerful books, U.S. books, you know. And then even if I was still very young that time, I read books. I
Right.
read books nonstop. I love reading because that's part of my training. When my father told me, if you are having no education, you are nonsense and you don't have to exist. So that's how brutal my father was. Yeah, and I always try to prove myself that I can do better. I can do much better. Um, yeah, it's like when you're young and you feel that you achieved things, being a young achiever, being an honor student, etc. So that pushes things and that makes me happy. As
Yes,
long as
sir.
you're happy.
Yes. I also can relate to your answer that when you are an achiever, you have to push things really hard.
That's
I
true, but
yes,
in
sir.
the class, we you can actually sense who are the best teachers and who are the bad teachers and
Correct.
who are the filingera teachers, the wannabe. Ang mga bugo magpa-bright-bright jud na niya masakpan ra gihapon sa bright nga student. Yeah,
That's
ana
very
jud
true,
na.
sir. I agree to all of your statement. There are
Oh,
really
thank you.
teachers, there are really teachers who are good, some are bad. Also, at ano. I heard you like reading books, sir. So, what's the role of AB English Language in preparing you for the path that you eventually took?
That's a good question. I hated literature. So I shifted my idea towards language acquisition.
Ooh.
And Professor Roble was very good and very studious enough to tell me exactly what goes on in language acquisition. And she gave me 1.0 for that. And there was another professor there, a UP graduate, Dr. Bula, that woman whose mouth is like a torpedo, like mine right now, will tell you the truth no matter what, exactly to your face. The woman would also say that if you're idiot, you're really idiot, and nothing can be helped with that. So Professor Bula just told me many things about language research and particularly in second language acquisition. She was very brilliant, but somehow I would digress towards those people or professors who graduated from UP, and I'm very much attracted to them, especially Professor Arciaga. Professor Arciaga of Statistics. That woman was very powerful. The first thing she would tell us is your degree is not important. The most important thing is your personality. If your personality is so soft, then you are not for this world. You have to go to the seminary or the convent. But if you are a fighter, then you will live as happy as you could be and as successful as you could be. And to be successful, you study hard. For the beautiful people, like women who are pretty, they can marry a mayor. That comes from her. And the ugly ones and stupid, never mind. But those who are really into learning, you will be successful. That's exactly from that professor. And these things are true. Now I am 55 years old. I'm not anymore the 18-year-old student at USAP. I am now 55. So those words are true. And the same thing that I would say. Education is a leverage. We really have to have a degree
Yeah.
unless you have 10 million pesos in the bank given by your father. Yeah.
I think also sir 10 million pesos won't be enough in this world
Oh,
since we are
it's
at
true.
high inflation right now. And I agree
True.
with your statement that we really need a degree, and having a soft personality won't make you survive in this very cruel world. So we really need to be tough. So since
Correct.
so now since we are talking about your degree, sir, now let's shift to your profession right now. So from those formative years at USEP, your journey eventually brought you to the global academic stage. You are now a chairperson there at the University of Hawaii. And let's talk about that transition from student life to professional success. After graduating, after getting your degree, did you immediately find yourself on the path you envisioned, or did it take an unexpected turns?
I hate teaching
Oh,
because I have no
very
patience
ironic
with idiots. Pag bugo ang estudyante, maglagot jud ko. Kay kanipang mga bugo nga mga hilas mo pa'y arte. But then I twisted the story in my brain. So you have to talk to yourself, because that's one way of like enhancing whatever cognitive thoughts that you have, the processes. I take a deep, embrace of the idea that it's not their fault to be stupid. So I said, why? Yeah, maybe we can change the approach. And to be able to do that, I need to have a master's degree and a PhD for me to understand these things. Because after all, ang kabugo, dili jud na sala. Pareho ra na sa kamaot sa nawong, di po na ilahang sala. Actually, what happened was, because I believe that I am smart and intelligent, so I went to the best university in the Philippines. I study at UP Diliman. When I entered the halls in UP, I found out that there is something there related to benzene, because that time I was doing studies in Ateneo de Davao as well. My professor in Ateneo de Davao was Perfection Loy, that name, and also Amparo Chamen, these great professors in Ateneo in the Department of Sciences, particularly chemistry and biology. They're the ones who taught me that language can be also in the scientific side. For example, benzene, especially the benzene was the one that got stuck in my mind. I saw syntactic trees in the halls of linguistics department at UP. Then I said, wow, it looks like benzene to me. So I knocked inside.
chemistry.
I didn't know the guy was the department chair of linguistics at UP. So we were talking, and then I signed up. That's as easy as that. And then I got my degree in 5 years because I went to Malaysia, for a scholarship grant there. Then I never stopped. I proceeded to I came back actually while I was writing thesis in Isamal. I taught at USEP for 1 year and a half actually. I taught there. And the same professors were there when I was in the undergrad, and the same professors that I admired most, particularly Professor Arsiaga. And that time, Professor Bula was already retired, so Professor Arsiaga was there. And also Professor Roble was there. I went back to Malaysia and pursued my PhD. And my professors that time in Malaysia were graduate from University of Hawaii. The other one is University of Hawaii, Prof. Zaha, and Prof. Rugaya was a graduate from University of California. And the first person that received me in her office at the National University of Malaysia was Prof. Siti Hamin, which Professor Sajid, your professor, met that great, brilliant woman, graduate from University of Glasgow in Scotland. So they're the ones, like the kindness of the person in the other country attracts such kindness. And so I learned something. I said, oh, to the foreigners, we should be kind, to tell them, please, you are very much welcome to study here. And I did not get accepted right away to the PhD linguistics program because of the national requirement in Malaysia that the foreigners must study Bahasa Malaysia, the language and the culture itself. So it took me a year to finish everything. Then I got accepted. And funny thing is, while I was about to finish my doctorate, I ended up becoming a professor of Malay linguistics at the University of Malaya. And the University of Malaya is the Harvard of Malaysia. And when the students come in, majority of them were locals and of course Arabs and foreigners. When they entered linguistics program, especially the Malay section, they were so shocked. Oh, Filipino teaching us Malay linguistics. Isn't it amazing?
That's very amazing, sir. Very amazing. I'm totally inspired by your story from pursuing biology, chemistry, and you're not caged in that specific field, but you are also interested in language. So you came to
Yeah,
realize
if you
that.
that's true. Ashley, if you're in a hurry, do BA English and that's it. You'll be fine. And they said there is no work for BA English graduates. Tell
Yeah.
them, ask
Mhm.
Rodney. He's working in America.
Yes. Because I'm also interested in sciences, sir, and I
Yeah.
am also interested in languages. So I can truly resonate to your story from your beginnings, and that totally inspired me since you are now working abroad, being the Filipino teacher there at the University of Hawaii. That's very inspiring, sir.
Yeah.
I hope to be like you one day.
Oh, yeah, and you can do much better by that time. I think oh, I'll be very old. Now I'm 55, and then I'm going back to Philippines to retire in 6 years.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll be retiring in the Philippines. I am both US citizen and Filipino citizen, so I can go back to the Philippines. Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, exactly. And then who knows, you might be here. America needs doctors, PhDs, because yeah, education here is very expensive. Very expensive in America.
Hopefully, sir. Hopefully. Now, as the chair of the Division of Humanities at University at Hawaii at Hilo, sir, what does your role involve and how do you balance the leadership, the teaching, and research? Since you're
Leadership is
doing
simple.
so many
Yeah.
things at once, so how do you balance it, sir?
That's true because I am both faculty and administrator. And to be a faculty, there are three things that you need to do. One, to teach, and the second one is research and publish. And the third one is to serve. You do service. And now to be the division chair, I work as the associate dean, but at the same time, the boss of the entire division. In the division, there are 10 programs and also 6 departments with 10 department chairs and coordinators under me. I am their leader. And being the leader, you lead by example. And the first thing I did, this is my second term. My first term was in 2018. I studied the policy of the university. My first 3 months was to study the policy. You don't go left, you don't go right, you implement the policy, and nothing can be wrong with that. Because if you go left, you go right, you're bending rules, you're doing politics, and it will bite you later. So, but if you go straight, boom, you have the best defense. You just say that is what the policy said. But I learned something from Sajid Ingilan. We changed the policy. That's also true. If the policy does not work, we really have to advocate for the change of the policy so that, because policies are time constrained. Yeah. It might work today, but in the future, no more.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the first thing I did. And I also have regular meetings with the big bosses up to the highest level of here at university. And then I do also advocacy that every March I have to go to the Washington, D.C. U.S. Congress, the Capitol. I have to go to the central office of the government of America, where the powers are there, the corridor of powers. You can really, like the US Capitol, yeah, in Washington DC. If you can see that picture, that's part of my assignment to advocate on behalf of humanities at University of Hawaii, because our current president is not pro education that much. Trump is cutting fundings, and many of the federal fundings are going to humanities programs. If he is cutting the federal grants to the sciences left and right, So what stops him from cutting humanities when for him, if science is not important, how about non-sciences?
Yeah.
So my job is to advocate to go directly to the powers at Washington, D.C. And I like my job. I travel a lot,
Yes, sir.
conferencing as well. All those
Despite
things, beautiful things.
despite
Yeah.
doing so many things, sir, what's very respecting in your story is that despite doing so many things, you did not forget your advocacy. You did not forget to serve the people, to fight for what you believe in, and salute, sir, for that.
Thank you. You're so kind. That's also
Yes.
true. That's very true.
Yes, sir, because there are so many people, there are doing so many things at a time, yet at the middle of doing those things, they tend to forget what they are really fighting for at the very beginning. And for you,
Aha, they're
yeah,
burnt out,
yes,
Ashley.
sir,
That
yes,
term is
sir.
burnt out.
Burn
And
out.
that's against mental health. They really have to
Yeah.
rest a bit. Yeah, here in Hawaii, it's vacation every day almost because we are in paradise. And Professor Ingilan has been here. He came to visit this island, and he can tell you the story how beautiful Hawaii is. It's
Wow.
paradise actually, so you can really rest here. It's impossible, if you can't rest in Hawaii. Sorry, I cut you in there. What was that?
It's okay, sir. It's okay. I'm open to hearing all of your thoughts and your opinions.
Thank
Now,
you. By
let's
the
go back.
way,
Yes, sir.
let me commend you. You're very fluent in English, and I like your accent. Sounds like
Okay.
California to me.
Am I fit for an international scene, sir? Like
Yeah,
you?
you are. You are.
Well,
It
thank
sounds
you
like
very much. I'm
California to
very
me.
honored to be praised by you.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
very much,
you.
sir. Now, despite working abroad, sir, I've read your researches and your interests are in migration, cultural anthropology, and most especially Philippine languages. And you've remained deeply connected to the Philippine languages, sir. And let's talk about that enduring passion. What motivates you to continue exploring and researching Philippine languages even while you're based on the other side of the world? You're there at the University of Hawaii and you are the chairperson, so you are still committed in studying those Philippine languages and the culture of the Philippines. So what's this motivation that drives you to continue doing that?
First, I let me mention the name Lawrence Reed. Lawrence Reed
Wow.
is a professor at University of Hawaii. When I was still a student at UP Diliman in linguistics, he and I were talking, and he said that, Rodney, there should be a time when Filipinos themselves are the ones studying Philippine linguistics or Philippine languages. And I said, how could it be when only UP Diliman is offering such kind of knowledge? And sure enough, in fast forward, there are so many graduates of UP Diliman who are now scattered all over Philippines, particularly at MSU Iligan particularly. Now they started this movement there because majority of them are from UP linguistics. So when it comes to true linguistics, UP is number one and the best. For applied programs, everyone can do it, applied linguistics. Now, so it made me think, yeah, since I am a trained linguist, I need to study the Philippine linguistics because the theoretical framework that I've been using is the school of thought of generative or formal linguistics. So I applied it to any language. Second thing is twice to three times a year, I travel back to the Philippines. Yeah, and to make sure that I can do it, I invented, if the correct verb is it, or I organized, or I founded the International Conference Multidisciplinary Filipino Studies, and I exported it to the Philippines. So this year, I'll be in the Philippines again next month,
Wow.
September 25 to 27 at the University of Santo Tomas for ICMFS, that conference that I founded. So you need to be strategic in everything. You strategize things, and it makes you go out of America to go back to the Philippines, continue your research, and to listen to all those scholars because these people who are presenting papers, they know what they are doing
Doing.
actually, and you learn from them as well.
Yeah, correct.
You must always learn, and especially like the research going on at USEP about indigenous knowledge, that is excellent. Very
Yeah,
excellent.
very excellent because we're giving
Yeah.
voices to those
Yep.
people.
That's
Wow.
exactly what should we do, and never let chance, do the magic, because it will never happen.
Yes,
And
we
we
need to
cannot,
work.
yeah, and we cannot wait forever for those white people to come back and study. No, it is our kuliana. Uh, the translation would be like national responsibility, which must be done personally at most in your level. That's both responsibility, the national, the communal, and personal. Yeah, and it is for the common good. The kulyana, that's the concept here in Hawaii. And it's true. It really works.
Yeah. Now, you've mentioned, sir, that we should not wait for those white people to come back. And I remember during the SPJRD talks,
Mm.
uh, there is this student who raised a question that many of the research on Philippine languages has historically been done by foreign scholars. And in relation to what you've said, that we should not wait for those white people to come back, sir, why do you think it is very important for Filipinos themselves to take an active role in this kind of research?
Because we are the insiders and we are the guardians, because language is not always superficial. It is the whites are giving you the external thoughts. They don't know exactly what is this word in the cultural, personal level and communal level. Like, if the whites would come to the Philippines and they hear the word, especially the word flood controls,
Yeah.
so they might think that's the normal flood control, but in Philippines it's very sensitive. It's about the corruption in the
Yeah.
Congress, yeah. So that thing, for us Filipinos, rooted in Philippine culture, we know right away what is that. And I remember 5 years ago, I heard the word marites. And I didn't understand that one. I thought my sister was talking about Marites, our cousin. It turned out Marites was, yeah, the gossip
Yeah.
woman, yeah.
Gossip
So
woman.
that kind of thing. And then we have many words that cannot be translated to English.
Correct.
The word sayang, the word budhi, the word utang, etc., utang na loob, and things like that. These are what we call as linguistic icons, the iconicity of these words. Remember that word, linguistic icons.
Mm.
Not people, but words. The iconicity of these words cannot be translated to English. It is encapsulated in culture. And it's only the Filipino who could explain it well, from
Yes,
the bottom of our hearts, from the deepness of our souls. We're the ones who can translate it. And the way we Filipino explain things, we put drama in everything, yeah? Because drama is part of Filipino life. Whereas when the white would write analysis about things, they simply do clinical way,
yeah.
sanitized and clinical. But for Filipinos, it's life. It's
Yes.
the soul of being Filipino.
So
So
we
that's one of my reasons. Yeah.
thank you, sir. So we really need to encourage Filipino scholars to start doing researches on our own, sir. No, so we should
Yeah,
not just say
true.
let those white people study us. We should be the first one to study our own language and culture.
Correct. And we have to stop doing error analysis, the,
Grammar.
the attitude of first year college students towards the pronunciation of F and V and things like that. Ay, sus Maria. Karaan ken asang tanan
We're
1960.
really concerned about those technicalities, yet we forget to study our own culture, that what's embedded in our own, sir. We tend to just succumb to those standard of set by the white people.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So now let's start moving on. In your own scholarship, have there been discoveries about Philippine languages that deeply resonated with you, whether academically, culturally, or personally?
One of the things I found out in theoretical linguistics is that all of our words are actually nouns.
Wow.
Yeah. And then only the affixes in the Philippines that convert them into verbs, into adjectives, etc. Yet, when we were taught in elementary and high school, we were already using um, the European model describing
Correct.
noun, subject, or
Yeah.
8 parts of speech.
Yes.
That was bullshit. It's not true. In Philippine linguistics, I found out that indeed we are all using only nouns and we use only the affixes to convert the lexical categories. That's one of the things. And then our affixes are so plenty that we can
Yes,
assign
sir.
numbers. We can assign numbers to that and the permutations of it at in Berkeley and also at MIT they I remember they were doing some programs, meaning computer programs to simulate about it, and what came now is the machine translation that you can see in Google and you can
Yeah.
see also in Microsoft. So these kinds of things I was very much interested in that before, the natural language processing.
Yeah.
And yeah, at the University of Malaya, we were working with natural language processing and machine translation. And that is very excellent thing to do, the mathematical aspect of
Yeah.
language,
Language.
because
Right.
language is also computable. It's not true na pagbugo og math, hala, ibutang sa AB. It's not true. There's always mathematical powers in language.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
There's language in everything, whether it's math, science, there is really language. It's the language that's the core of those fields.
Yeah, and because language is common human experience, they
Yeah.
thought that it's nonsense.
So, sir,
Right.
your journey shows how language can truly open doors and shape futures and even transform lives. So now let's reflect on that power and where you are in your journey today. So, in your experience, how does language empower individuals and communities to achieve success, whether in academia, career, or identity?
Well, language is power, and we use the concept language is communication. Say exactly what you want, but at the correct context. Yeah. And proficiency and fluency are necessary, but at the same time, there is always that situational approach where you use the correct terms, the correct vocabulary, the correct lexicon. And don't mind about those people, like when we Filipinos, we come to America or we go to UK, we sound like newscasters because we follow the subject verb object, the grammatical things, because we are not native speakers. Yeah, but don't listen to them. After all, you're not talking to the garbage guy or the local person in the streets. You will be dealing with the academic people, so that's formal English that you will be saying. And sure enough, things like that will continue to encourage you that somehow at that level, that people, out there in the first language environment of English, they understand you perfectly. And during conferences and seminars, when I am on stage and I speak my English, my Philippine English, they understand me and they interact with me. It's always those people coming from the West who are appreciative of knowledge. But in Asia, no.
Yes, they're
In
not
Asia,
people.
they're the first one to criticize you, saying, who, you brown one, what are you doing on stage? It should be the
Yeah,
white. That is very wrong. Oh, I
really
reprimanded
praising the
many
white.
people.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that words, sir.
That's empowering.
Yeah, that's very empowering, sir. I mean, it's very ironic that we tend to accommodate the whites, but we don't usually listen. We criticize our
Fellow
uh,
Asians.
fellow Asians, sir. But, from your perspective, sir, how is language and linguistic research evolving in today's global academic landscape?
Because language is and linguistics, these are part of the human experience, and that is part of our soul. Imagine there is no language. Imagine there's no linguistics. What are we? We cannot be like automatons, yeah? Like mechanic beings. We can't be. It's the window and the expression of what's inside us. although I hate literature, but there is aspect of literature that is like, promoting what is good and what is beautiful. And that can be expressed only by language and not by mathematics.
Correct.
Whatever is it in there that cannot be conceptualized by the thought right away, but can be expressed by language. Therefore, it must exist. However, the theoretical aspect says no, because look at the word unicorn. There is no unicorn.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say here is that the concept and the thought, these are all frameworks, and that is it. Yeah. And I wish like one day, even students as early as first year college or second year college could realize the importance of language and linguistics.
Yes, sir. It's very important that an early years you realize the importance of linguistics. Since that's having a good foundation is really
True.
important in this field.
Because what is important for that year as well, first year and second year, it's the last phase of hormonal imbalances. Unahon man dyan ang kiat-kiat o uyab-uyab. Di man gina maminaw kang sajid kang isko.
Yeah, oh, yeah. That's actually correct, sir. At
Yeah.
our age, first year, second years, there's really some hormonal changes that
We've
make
been there.
priorities.
We've been there.
Yes. Yeah, so that's why you can say that because you've been there.
You've been there. And then try not to run away from the libraries or wherever that you can socialize, because somehow it can start with communication. Makakita di kag uyab di sa library, Ashlee, bantay lang. Ana man na, magbasa-basa ka ba? Pasangil ka
Hindi
basa
ka
libro.
bright dito sa library, sir, mga kuan ba?
Correct.
Correct.
Oh, one thing too. Professor Arsiaga said that the university is the best place to find someone for relations, because that's the place for better-minded people.
So there's a question from Sir Isko, sir. Many of these students are already in love and they want to hear about it too. So I believe language is one of the best ways people express and even find love. So the question, sir, is, are you in love right now?
Love is for the poor. Now, when you become old, you will actually like decide that what will come to your life. Love is for the poor. It's just like rice. Rice is also for the poor. Yeah. When you are young, you will have that means. You will have all those happiness and everything. But then, as you grow old, you need to decide what is life all about. And I mean, like, why do you a life like those who have families, etc., it's not an easy life. Not easy life. You look at your parents, the beauty that they used to have, nangamaot in taon ang ilang mga nawong, kay giuna gid ang anak, labi na mga parents, no, especially parents who are poor, yeah? Like, you look at them, they're so full of stress, but they will never tell you because they love you. Yeah. That is a life of sacrifice. Me, no. I'd rather travel the world, be free, be a spirit to everything, than to wallow into that misery. Because after all, when we all die in this world, there is a hereafter. Maybe in paradise one day, whatever paradise is that, Christianity or Islamic paradise, there is life so more beautiful out there. Then over there we start, not here. It's very difficult in this world, especially here in America. Especially in America. You got married in America and you will divorce. Oh, you need billions of pesos. Alimony, yeah. I got. No.
So that's the answer to your question, sir, is called Sir Rodney is not in love right now, romantically in love, but I think he is in love with his field, his profession, and his advocacy for language.
Oh, I am married to the university and to the field.
You are married to the university.
Love is for the poor, and it's time like rice. Rice is for the poor.
I'll keep that in mind, sir, that love is for the poor.
It causes diabetes.
My last question before we go to our next segment.
Huh?
Where do you see? No, we have this segment after this. Where do you see yourself heading in the years ahead?
I want to be the chancellor of the university.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. I'll be the chancellor. If not vice chancellor, I should be the chancellor. and then yeah, leave America, come back to
Philippines.
Philippines.
Achieving
Yeah.
your goal, being the chancellor.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, sir. Thank you so much for your empowering and insightful answers to our questions. Now let's make things a little more exciting with a quick segment we call Talk Wordy to Me, where you say it short and smart. So, are you ready, sir? First photo is Samal Island. Just one or two words that can describe that picture, sir. For you.
Nindot. It's beautiful.
Thank you, sir. Next picture, we have Philippines.
Swimming.
Swimming. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I never
many
swam in
beautiful-
Hawaii. Swimming is good there in
We have
Philippines.
many beautiful beaches here in the Philippines. Next is Hawaii,
My campus.
my campus. Next, we have Mr. Sajid Ingilan.
Indangan. Sultan. Sultan sa Indangan.
Sultan sa Indangan. Next picture, please. We have Lawrence Reed.
God of linguistics.
Wow, God of linguistics.
Philippine linguistics. I mean, God of Philippine linguistics.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Noam Chomsky.
This is the God of modern linguistics.
So if Lawrence Reed is the God of Philippine linguistics, then
Yeah.
Noam Chomsky is the God of modern linguistics. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, next picture, please. We have the SPJRD journals. This SPJRD journal.
Scopus para sa haud.
Kapos para sa haud. Next,
God of Indangan.
God of Indangan. Next, we have MPBNLE.
Could have been good.
Could have
Could have been good.
been good. Next picture, please. Philippine English and American English.
Varieties of English. That comes to my mind. Equal English. Yeah.
Equal English. Varieties of English. Thank you, sir. Next, we have Buwan ng Wika.
Ada.
Ada.
Ada. KWF. Ada.
Ada. Ada.
Inamaw mo ng buwan ng wika. Kay
Oh my
buwan ng
God.
Pilipino ko, no? Buwan ng ada.
Buwan ng Ada. Thank you very much for that, sir. Thank you very much. And now for my very last question to you. If we say that language is power, as we always emphasize in the field of linguistics here at the AB English Language Program, how has it empowered you to change the world in your own way?
Oh, because change must start with ourselves. And the way we look at things, it has to do with the way we think of ourselves as well. And it comes from within, because if it comes from within, and naturally, there's no need to pretend who you are. At the end of the day, it's you alone, and the way people think about you and the language they use against you, it's only ada.
Wow.
That's
Thank you
actually
so
a
much.
Malay word, meaning there is.
And that means, sir, in Malay?
That something exists.
Oh.
Yeah. Something exists that, like, ada is there is or there are, ada. Whatever that means, ada.
Thank you so much once again, sir. Thank you for sharing your story, your wisdom, and your journey with us. It has truly been an honor for me and for the Language Student Society. And to everyone watching, this has been the pilot episode of Lexiconversations. I am your host, Ashlee Jane S, and this is where we celebrate the power of language through conversations that shape minds and inspire change. Daghang salamat and see you in our next episode.